been searching for a podcast that can motivate you, inspire you, and teach you about business and life all at the same time? Well, we've got you covered. This is Beyond the Blueprint with Matt. Whether you're seeking to unlock the secrets of real estate success or seeking guidance in the world of marketing and coaching, you're in the right place, helping to educate and motivate you through real-life experiences with work and life. We'll uncover stories like how a family's homeowning dream turned into their living truth, or how a struggling rookie transformed into a top realtor. You'll find there's always a way forward, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. This is Beyond the Blueprint with Matt. And now your host, Matt Sochi.
What are your thoughts on motivation versus discipline? I'll tell you my thoughts because you know what? Motivation is only 1%. Is only 1% of getting to the goal. Okay, it's only 1%. And a lot of people have a misconception that they think that you have to be motivated in order to do something. Fuck motivation. I'm laughing about that, but you got to be disciplined. I'm going to tell you real quick what just happened to me. So I just actually did this episode and I forgot to put the SD card into the Rodecaster over here. So guess what happened? Nothing happened because there's nothing I could use from that data. So with that being said, is the discipline is now I got to do it again. Okay. And this episode is all about having discipline and not motivation. Okay. Because we could say we're motivated to do a lot of things, but it really comes down to the discipline and having the discipline to do it so you could do it better than anybody else. This is Beyond the Blueprint. So I want you guys all to think about certain things that maybe have come up in your life and things that you've done to create a change. Well, if you really want to think about things, so think about like somebody who wants to be a professional boxer or bodybuilder. They have to be extremely disciplined. And that consists of, working out 6 days a week, eating 8 meals a day, taking ice plunge baths or whatever you want to call it, which I think is crazy. I'm not disciplined to do any of that. But the people that are doing those things are the ones that are disciplined to get into their goals. And I think on this podcast, we talk a lot about goals and different types of ways to inspire motivation. But it really comes down to, as I was thinking about this on the way to work today, is that it really comes down to discipline and being disciplined enough in order to get to your goals. So when you start thinking about this, is that if motivation is only 1%, what's the other 99%? And the other 99% is the discipline of doing the things that you need to do to get to the end result. And I want you to start thinking about, in your careers, what does that take? Okay. What does that take? Are you unmotivated? Because if you're unmotivated, not only do you not have discipline, but you also don't have the passion to do something. So when you start thinking about that is, what are you intaking every single day? What is your intake and what is the outtake of that? So, when I wake up in the morning, and this is being undisciplined, but I try my best, is I try to be up by 6:30 every single morning. I don't jump out of bed and start working out like some other people do. But I know a lot of people that are disciplined out there that they are up at 3:30 in the morning, get up, go to the gym, ride an hour on the Peloton, take a shower, do a nice plunge before you take a shower, and then they start the day. Well, that's discipline. They do it every single day. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. And I think that we all have different types of goals and different types of motivations in there. But at the end of the day is what are you doing to get to the end result? So I want you to start thinking outside the box here in what is your true end result goal? All right, so we'll talk about goal setting here in a little bit. But I want you to start thinking is, what is it that's going to take you to drive to that next level? I remember, younger, being in high school, I had the opportunity to play baseball on the high school team. And I remember freshman, I didn't make the team. I was really upset about that. And I wasn't a bad baseball player. I wasn't amazing, but I was good. I wasn't striking out. I knew how to play ball. I was playing second base and shortstop and third base, but I didn't make the team. And I was really, really upset about that. And when I tried out, I was really motivated. I was motivated. I was like, man, this is exciting. I can't wait to do this and get my jacket and be on a team and get a uniform. Like, I was motivated to be on the baseball team. And when I found out that I didn't make the team, I was really upset about that. And I could have really easily just said, screw it. Like, I don't need to play sports. I'll go find something else to do. And obviously that could be very dangerous in your teenage years in high school, because you could get into a lot of bad things, right? But instead of doing that, I started disciplining in a way where I was going to get better, because my goal next year was to make the team in JV. And I remember playing, summer league, and this is up in Connecticut, so we only really had summer, spring, and a little bit of fall. It started getting cold. And I remember sitting outside my house in Newtown, Connecticut, and we had a chimney wall, and I would just practice pitching, throwing, batting. I had a batting net on our friends, and I would just every single day, that's what I would do. I would do it every single day until I knew I was getting better. And that's the discipline aspect of it. It would be raining. I'd be out there practice. And it's the same thing that goes into our lives. So when I had the opportunity to try out again, and it was the same coaches and the same evaluators, I crushed it. Well, I want to say super crushed it, but I crushed it enough to make the team. And I remember they used to put it on like the gymnasium wall. They used to put up the sheet, and everybody's up there like, oh, and you found your name up there, and I was like, God bless. I was like, that's amazing, and the work paid off. Okay, and this is a story that was from call it 20 plus years ago, and it paid off. And the moral of that story is that if you are motivated to do something, it doesn't mean that you're going to get it, whatever it might be. So if that's for better nutrition, better health, better job, you're not going to get it just because you're motivated. You got to find the discipline to intake and have an outtake of whatever it is. So as we talk about this, I think it's really, really important as we're going into the end of the year. And more than likely, this will be the last single episode with no interviews or guests until next year. But I want everyone to really think about this one thing, is it's goal setting, okay? I've been working on mine. It should be all set by the end of this week, but you got to have goals for every single either quarter, month, year. And as a manager for a corporate company, before I started doing this, is that we used to do goal planning and goal setting. It started from the top down, right? So here's the goal for Florida, the goal for the region, the goal for the area, and then the goal for the stores. And we had to hit those goals. Well, we couldn't just say, all right, here's our goal, let's go. It had to take planning and efforts and, the team around you to do it. And, when we didn't hit our goals, obviously there were repercussions for it, but not saying it might be a repercussion in your job today. But you need to start thinking about, what are your goals for 2024? Because at the end of the day, I alluded to this in the last podcast, that it's already here. It'll be here before you know it. Like in my industry, I have closings already set up for January. So you got to start thinking, what is your goal? So my goal last year was to help 100 families get into a home. We crushed it by October, right? So I crushed it by October. So surpassed the goal. So this is now 4 straight years helping over 100 families get into a home. And some of those consist of refinances and HELOCs and stuff like that, but I was able to do it. And if you want to talk about resilience, this is the toughest market there is right now in real estate and mortgages because of the interest rates. It's very, very tough. It's not easy to do. But I was able to overcome that with different avenues and different aspects of things to be able to do it. So depending what your industry is, and maybe you're not in an industry with goals. So if those goals don't apply to work, apply them to life. And another one of my goals for this year was to do a podcast a month. Well, I just started and I got over 12 done. And next year is to do even more and build this thing up to be even bigger and better and greater than what it is. Because I'm just learning, I'm starting, right? So some of my goals are based around that. And then next year, my goal is to help 150 families get into a home or refinance their home. in either way into a mortgage. And I have it all laid out. So this is what I do during the week. This is what I do during the month. This is the end result of each month. And then I do it quarterly, semi-annually, and for the year. And I think it's really, really important that you do the same thing, because if you have nothing to go after, and when I talked about this when Yvonne was here, is that if you don't have anything to go after, then you're not tracking your success and or what you're doing that's either working or not working. So with that being said, I hope everyone can take some time over the next week or two and really start fundamentally thinking about what are your goals, what is the end result going to be, and how's it going to impact your life and the people around you. Because if you do hit those goals, and then set something that's good, like if you achieve these goals, what is your end result? Like, what do you get? Is it a prize? Is it a vacation that you always wanted to go on to or go to? What is it? And if you identify, what it is that you want to do and how you're going to get there, and then start taking the disciplined steps, right? So if, for example, if your goal is to, and I've seen a lot of people have been doing this over the last couple of years, is to get, into training, and that I cannot do. I know I can't do it, because I could tell you already right now, I work out usually when I get home from work, and there's a lot of times I'd rather just pour a drink and chill out and not do it. But I will tell you this, the discipline behind me goes, if I don't do it, I feel guilty as fuck not doing it. Guilty. And if you don't feel guilty, if you have a goal in play, if you don't feel guilty not doing it, you don't have discipline. You just have motivation, and that motivation is just, like I said, 1% of the end result. So hopefully that all helps somebody out there, and hopefully can inspire somebody to go that extra mile. But like I said, every single day that goes by us, if you start looking at change doesn't happen overnight. Change usually happens in little steps, right? And it's a gradual change. And if you start planning things and say, all right, well, my change emotion is going to be this, and you just go after it a little bit better every single day, it's going to be night and day, the difference of everything. People are going to start noticing it. There's a lot of people that have huge, big dreams, and I love that, and I support that. But they don't happen overnight. Nobody overnight just becomes, success, we'll call it. It takes time, and then time of building that circle, like we talked about in the last episode, around you, and networking, and all those different things, and inspiring others. So just remember that whatever your goals are and what your change is going to be, it's going to take you taking 99% of that as discipline to be able to do it, and that little bit of motivation just to keep you going every single day. And you'd be surprised, the people around you will start self-inflicting motivation to you and then holding you accountable to that. And I think that if you're in that right mindset of growth and not fix, you're definitely going to be able to rock it out moving forward and make it better than anything else. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we're going to talk soon. I just wanted to get that out there. So remember, there's a lot of great motivational videos out there on discipline and motivation, but at the end of the day, it's really what comes from your heart, and then what are you going to do it and hold yourself accountable to it. Thanks for listening. This is Beyond the Blueprint. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I'll catch you soon.
You've been listening to Beyond the Blueprint with Matt. Matt's passion is to talk about breaking the mold and exploring the uncharted territories of mortgages, real estate, faith, marketing, coaching, and so much more. Helping to show you there's always a way forward. Thanks so much for listening to the show. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook and on all the major podcast channels at Beyond the Blueprint. See you next time.